And hello again, RosterWatch Nation. It's your friendly neighborhood Trashman, and this is the Garbage Grab. Today I'm going to be talking about some of my favorite quarterback sleepers, 5 of them to be exact. Might be a little bit controversial, it's a little bit trashy, but what can you expect from the Trashman? So let's go ahead and get started with these 5 quarterback sleepers. The first of these is Gardner Minshew of the Jaguars. Minshew was 5th in rushing yards for quarterbacks in 2019 with over 400 rushing yards on the ground. He was a top 10 quarterback in weeks 1 through 9. And I understand that, once defenses kind of, get the hang of a younger quarterback, they start to cover him better. But 1 through 9, that's 9 weeks of top 10 quarterback play. So that's not too shabby. He was the number 1 quarterback rating. He had the number 1 quarterback rating and throwing deep in 2019, so he's efficient in throwing the deep ball. He's accurate. And he was the number 10 quarterback under pressure last season, so he can take the pressure. And what's more important to me is that the Jaguars seem committed to supporting Minshew and giving him a real shot at being the quarterback of the future there for them. He also has new weapons in Laviska Shenault and Chris Thompson, both of whom can catch passes out of the backfield and help bail Minshew out, be kind of safety blankets for him. And right now, he's a quarterback 28 ADP-wise. So you're not really taking that much of a hit by drafting Gardner Minshew, and there's quite a bit of upside there. Especially, if you know the Trashman, he loves running backs that throw touchdowns. Yeah, I love running quarterbacks. And Gardner Minshew isn't a bad one. All right. Speaking of things that aren't bad, the 2020 RosterWatch Ultimate Draft Cheat Sheet is available now at RosterWatch.com. The revolutionary cheat sheet that changed fantasy football forever is back only at RosterWatch.com. The RosterWatch Ultimate Draft Cheat Sheet. All you have to do is follow 3 simple rules. That's it, 3. It couldn't be easier. An expert quality fantasy football draft is guaranteed. The RosterWatch Ultimate Draft Cheat Sheet only at RosterWatch.com. After Gardner Minshew, quarterback sleeper, I have Teddy Bridgewater of the Panthers. The Panthers defense is in a rebuilding stage, so the offense is probably going to be playing from behind early and often this season. And with Christian McCaffrey, DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, and Curtis Samuel as the primary pass catchers, Teddy Bridgewater, he'll be able to stretch the field on virtually every play. If you remember, Christian McCaffrey led all running backs in receptions in 2019. So Teddy Bridgewater doesn't have to throw far. He doesn't have to throw deep. We know he doesn't do that often to get big plays out of his pass catchers. Also, his schedule is really nice, especially for the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season. He'll be facing Las Vegas, Tampa Bay, Arizona, and Atlanta in 4 of his first 5 weeks of the season. So it's a quick start. A hot start for Teddy Bridgewater, conceivably. And right now, he's the 27th quarterback being drafted. So you're not going to pay up a lot for him, and he can offer considerable value. I think we're going to see a lot of – if you need a streamer, here at RosterWatch, we don't pick quarterback until very late in our drafts if you use our cheat sheet, our magical cheat sheet. So Teddy Bridgewater is going to be somebody you can get late in drafts, and he's going to offer considerable value considering all the weapons that he has and the game scripts that are probably going to come into play for the Panthers. After Teddy Bridgewater, this may be the most controversial one. It's Dwayne Haskins of the Redskins. Yes, he lost Kelvin Harmon to an ACL injury, but he gained Antonio Gibson, quite possibly the most dynamic player in college football last year. And Antonio Gibson, he played wide receiver for the most part in college, drafted as a running back. He's really positionless. He's kind of like Laviska Shenault in that way. Haskins, if you remember, was the Big Ten's all-time leader in single-season touchdowns. So he's got the ability. He's got the capabilities. Urban Meyer claimed that he was the best quarterback that Ohio State has ever had. I mean, if you think about the present company there, like Troy Smith, might be his greatest competition there, but still, that's saying a lot for a really storied football program. And Haskins, he improved over his rookie season, started with 0 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. And over the last part of the season, 7 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. Not a lot of touchdowns, but I think we're going to see that number go up this year, especially since Alex Smith is back. Alex Smith, one of the best minds in football, maybe, as a quarterback, and he's going to be backing up Haskins. I don't think he's going to be competition for Haskins. It's already been confirmed that Haskins is the guy in Washington under center for the Washington football team. So Alex Smith, I see as more of a boon for Dwayne Haskins' play and helping him to progress as an NFL quarterback. And lastly, Haskins has the 9th best schedule for quarterbacks, and he's the 31st quarterback being drafted right now. So that just spells out value for me. After Dwayne Haskins, it's Tyrod Taylor of the Chargers. 2017 was his last season as a starter, and he was 3rd in quarterback rushing yards and 1st in touchdown to interception ratio for a starting quarterback. Not too shabby. He also has the 5th best schedule for quarterbacks this season. And I think with no preseason happening, shortened off season, it's going to be less and less likely that Herbert becomes the starting quarterback, the rookie out of Oregon, if I'm thinking correctly. And so I feel like it's going to be a down year for rookies overall, and especially quarterbacks who maybe have the most to learn to become NFL ready. I think Tyrod Taylor stays in there the whole season. Starting running back Austin Eckler was second only to Christian McCaffrey in running back receptions and receiving yards in 2019, and he wasn't even technically the starter for the Chargers at that point, which he is now. Also, Taylor has Keenan Allen as his safety blanket. And Taylor's current ADP of quarterback 30 right now, so he offers immense value. He can run the ball. He doesn't turn the ball over a lot. And he's got some good options that he doesn't have to throw deep to necessarily to move the ball a long way. Last but not least, he's actually the highest ranked quarterback of this group. But compared to where he could end up finishing, I think he offers a lot of value. And he's a sleeper right now. And that's Ben Roethlisberger of the Steelers. He's quarterback 15 currently. And he hasn't finished outside of quarterback 9 in fantasy points per game in 5 years prior to his injury-shortened 2019. He actually finished second in quarterback fantasy points to only Patrick Mahomes in 2018, the last time he played a full season. The Steelers were number 1 in pass rate when playing from behind in 2018, and the most pass-heavy team when the game was within 1 score in 2018, the last year that Ben Roethlisberger played a full season. So they like to throw the ball a lot when they're behind, or when they're just up by 1 score. So I think Ben Roethlisberger is being vastly undervalued here. He faces the Giants and the Texans in 2 of his first 3 weeks, so he could get off to a hot start. I think Ben Roethlisberger is a sleeper right now, and I think he's somebody you can consider taking. You could take him in round 12 or later in some of these drafts, so that's kind of crazy to me. Anyways, those are right now my 5 favorite quarterback sleepers in fantasy football. If you liked it, leave me a comment. If you didn't like it, leave me a comment. Let me know why. I'd love to hear from you. Leave me a like. Leave us a follow. Give us a subscription. Join us on RosterWatch.com. Whatever you can do to help us out. We'd love you to be a part of RosterWatch Nation. Anyways, this has been it for the Trashman. On behalf of RosterWatch.com. Until next time, be ready.